Hello Pokemon trainers, welcome back to another Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Battle Stadium singles video here on iStarly TV. This is another in my Road to Master rank series where I try to climb the online Battle Stadium singles ladder. And if you've seen my recent games, it's been a bit of a roller coaster. You know, I'm not doing amazingly. I'm actually, I think, one win away from hitting Ultra Ball rank finally. And so that's a kind of a safe spot to be in, because once you're in Ultra Ball rank, you have just a few wins until you get to Master Ball rank. So Great Ball is kind of the hardest one to get through, especially in a new format like this, because, you know, if you win and you lose, you fluctuate a lot, and it takes a little longer sometimes to get through it. So that's what I've been personally struggling with. I've been trying a lot of different things, finding what's working, and I do have a new team for us today, featuring yet another amazing shiny Pokemon in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which is one of my favorite Pokemon. And it's actually not a new Pokemon. This is actually Scizor. So this team is kind of featuring Scizor, shiny Scizor, which looks absolutely amazing. I shiny hunted it. And again, it's becoming a little bit of a tradition here in my Battle Stadium singles series to basically, whenever I feature a new team, to have a shiny. And that's not the plan that I had, but that's just kind of how it's been so far. I don't expect that to always be the case. But this Scizor here is a setup Scizor with Swords Dance, Bullet Punch, Pounce, and Thief. Now this set was the set I kind of built to optimize Scizor, I found. Now, of course, it's a Swords Dance set. There are a lot of unaware users in this metagame, so I'm starting to kind of second guess it. And when I was practicing with this team, you know, I did kind of see a few issues that this team can run into, but I'm still going to go for it. I want to show it off in this video, and maybe in the future, if I want to change this Scizor build to like Choice Band or something, then I will. But anyways, this is Adamant Nature, max attack, and then I EV'd it to have just enough speed to outspeed Hydreigon after going for Pounce. So if we Pounce Hydreigon, it'll lower its speed, and then the speed EVs I have are just enough so that I'll be faster than it. What I ended up realizing though is I don't think I need that. Like, I could just go more HP and then max attack, because basically one of the important things on this Scizor is that I'm actually a Terra Water type, if you couldn't tell. Obviously Scizor's only weakness is fire, and it's a really big weakness. And there are a lot of Pokemon, there are a good amount of fire type Pokemon in this meta, but also Pokemon like Hydreigon and even sometimes Dragapult will run fire type moves. And so, you know, I think Hydreigon's probably the biggest one, the most common one. And so being able to Terra into a water type and take that move extremely well, you know, and catch them by surprise and then deal a ton of damage back to them is what I was planning on doing with this set. And then I love the little combo here of Citrus Berry with Thief. So basically, once I get low enough, I will eat my Citrus Berry and restore a little bit of health, and then I can use Thief on the opponent and steal their item. And we'll just be trying that out today. Now, basically, to support this Scizor set, I am running Grimmsnarl, which is another Pokemon that I think is pretty good. Though personally, as much as I love Grimmsnarl as a Pokemon, and I acknowledge how strong it is, it's honestly a Pokemon that I don't think necessarily fits my playstyle super well. The main thing that you do with Grimmsnarl is you set up Light Screen or Reflect, and then you kind of get out there with Parting Shot, and then Spirit Break is there as decent coverage, but also it lowers special attacks, so that can be good against certain Pokemon. And I'm just running max HP and max defense with Light Clay. Honestly, on this entire team, this is the Pokemon I've brought the least. And honestly, I think that's partially because, again, part of it is my play style, but also I just didn't really find openings to bring it, because the other Pokemon that I'm using that is also kind of a lead Pokemon is my Garchomp, which I've used in previous teams as well. This is the set that I've been loving with Garchomp. It's Terra Fire with Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Dragon Tail, and Terra Blast. It's basically an excellent lead for setting up Stealth Rock, and that's kind of the main reason I use it. And I find myself bringing Garchomp in most of the games with this team, and I've just been loving it. And so Dragon Tail is also great for getting rid of Pokemon who are setting up in your face, and a lot of the times they don't really expect it. So I found this to be really nice. And then Terra Fire is good because, I mean, just Garchomp's just such a strong Pokemon in general. Even though this is a lead set, it's still capable of doing a ton of damage, so I just love it. So what ends up happening, I feel like, is my opponents see my team, and they see Grimmsnarl right there at the top, so they expect me to lead Grimmsnarl. This has happened a few times. So they lead with a Pokemon that they think will be good against Grimmsnarl, and it ends up being a Pokemon that like Garchomp is very good against. So that's end up, and because I'm again leading with Garchomp more often than not, so that's been a great thing for this team, is it just by the setup of the team, it kind of throws off the opponent sometimes, and I'm able to kind of catch them off guard. And momentum is super important in this meta, so that can help so much. That can help turn the tide of battle pretty significantly. And then a couple other Pokemon that I'm not going to spend too much time talking about, because if you've been watching my videos, you probably know how I feel about these Pokemon. This is Choice Specs Dragapult, which is easily my most used Pokemon in Battle Stadium singles. I've had it on almost every team, and honestly, I mean, it's just been an MVP. There are just so many games where I bring this Pokemon and it does work. This is just, I can't say how much I love this enough. So Choice Specs Dragapult, Modest Nature, these 4 moves, spam them. I go for Shadow Ball more than anything else, but there are times where I use other moves. And then finally we have, or not finally, but the other Pokemon that I've used pretty frequently is Choice Banded Meowscarada with Flower Trick. I just wanted these 2 Pokemon to just blast holes through bulky Pokemon with like Unaware. And they usually do a decent job of that. I realized I have Night Slash on this instead of Knockoff, and I was gonna change it because I think Knockoff is an egg move, so I was like, I don't know if I want to spend time before this video doing that. But you know, there's the pros and cons with Night Slash and Knockoff. Knockoff obviously deals a ton of damage the first time you use it, but then every time after that, it's reduced damage, whereas Night Slash is less damage, but more consistent, if that makes sense. But the rest of the moves, I think, are pretty self-explanatory, and this Meowscarada is adamant. Finally, we have another shiny Pokemon to show off on this team. So this is a first. I actually have 2 shiny Pokemon on this team. This is Garganacl, which I tried this set out, and I think it's pretty strong. Now, the EVs are the one area where I'm still debating for this Pokemon. Garganacl has a massive defense stat, and then its special defense is not that great, but if you invest in it, it can take special hits pretty decently. Although, if you want to just be able to take like any physical hit, you can go max HP, max defense. So, but this is just where I was going with it. And there have been times where the max special defense has really helped me, and admittedly times where I wish I could have had the max defense. So it kind of depends how you want to build your team and how you want to build your Garganacl based off of that. But the set here is Recover, Curse, Body Press, and Salt Cure. And basically the goal with this Pokemon is to set up Curse, which will boost your attack and defense and lower your speed. Boosting your defense obviously is great with Body Press. And then if you Terra into a Ghost type, you can actually use Curse as a Ghost type, which instead of boosting your attack and defense, will then start eating away at the opponent's HP. So there are times where when Garganacl is like my last Pokemon, or my opponent's on their last Pokemon, Garganacl can just take them out with Curse. So that's been really nice, especially against bulky Pokemon. I actually had a game yesterday where my opponent had a Toxapex, which is almost impossible to take down, but I used Curse and Salt Cure and eventually was able to take it down because it was their last Pokemon. So yeah, that's the team. I will say, I was going to say this when I was talking about Dragapult, but in my next team, the next team I make and I showcase on this channel, I will promise to not have Choice Specs Dragapult on that team. As sad as that makes me, I just want to try different things. But again, this has just been so reliable for me. So let's get into some games. All right, we have an opponent here, and their team is looking pretty standard. All the Pokemon on their team are Pokemon that I typically see and that you can typically expect. Something I've been playing this team a lot on Pokemon Showdown as well, and something I've been seeing a lot more of is bulky Goldango with Covert Cloak. So that's something I'm going to want to try at some point. But anyways, I mean, I look at their team and I kind of automatically feel like I want Stealth Rock with Garchomp, especially because of that Volcarona. Now, a scary thing about Volcarona is usually, like, you know, they go into Volcarona and then, you know, if it's Volcarona versus Garchomp, like if they Terra Fairy, it can be a nightmare for me. But anyways, I think I like bringing Garganacl as well. Depending on whether I Terra or not, Garganacl can be great against them. I also think I want Scizor here. Is this a game where I want Grimmsnarl too? I'm going to try Garchomp, Scizor, and Garganacl. And I hope that's going to be good enough. You know, Meowscarada is scary, Volcarona is scary, Azumarill can be scary. We're just going to have to see. I feel like this is a matchup where not having max HP or max defense on my Garganacl is going to haunt me, but we're going to find out how this is going to go. My opponent is going to lead with Meowscarada, which is not something I'm super happy about. Now, lead Meowscarada, from what I've seen, can run Taunt, so I think it's too early to Terra here. Terra Fire Garchomp is actually decent. It's like not that bad, but I don't think I want to waste the Terra this early. So what I'm actually just going to do is go Dragon Tail here. I expect my opponent might taunt me. They actually just go Knockoff here, which is going to do a ton of damage. It's going to take me down to my Sash, I bet. Oh, actually it doesn't. Okay. But that's going to get some damage on them. And then I'm going to Dragon Tail them away and just get some extra damage on them, which I think is great, actually. That makes that a little bit less of a threat for later. Like, Scizor can pick it off with a Bullet Punch. So, yeah, let's see what happens next. My opponent's going to go into Goldango, and does it have Air Balloon? That's the big question. It does not have Air Balloon. Obviously, it could be Choice Scarfed, but I'm just going to go Earthquake here. If it's Scarfed, I'm going to die. They are Scarfed. Okay, that's good to know. That is good to know, because now this gives me a free switch into Garganacl. I could also, let's see, if I go Scizor here and start setting up Swords Dance, I don't think that's good enough. I mean, their team is kind of weak to Scizor. Like, if I can set up to like +4, which is, I mean, admittedly greedy, that could be a problem for them. If I like set up to +2, take a Shadow Ball, I don't know if I can take a Shadow Ball really well though. Okay, I'm just gonna go Garganacl. I don't know. It's really tempting to go into Scizor there. I just don't know how much damage I'm gonna take from Goldango. If I can live a Shadow Ball nicely, then that was the right play going into Scizor. But anyways, here I go Curse. I expect them to switch out here. Luckily for me, they don't have any Unaware. Wow, they actually don't switch out though. I'm gonna take this really well because my ability actually effectively makes me resistant to ghost type moves. So I might be able to get up a few curses here, which is actually really nice. And looking at my opponent's team comp, I actually feel like I'm not that afraid to just set up a bunch of curses. Like, I expect them to switch out at some point, and obviously their own Garganacl is going to be a little bit of a threat against mine. That might be what they're going into. Let's see. Okay, so I'm at +2 defense here. So now I have to make the prediction game. I can expect them to go for Flower Trick and I can Terrastalize. Or I can expect them to go for Knockoff and I can choose to not Terrastalize. If I choose wrong, there's a chance I die here. I actually think it's more likely they're going to go Flower Trick because of... Oh, this is actually scary. I think I kind of messed up a little bit here. I expect them to go Flower Trick here. Okay, yeah, we're going to do this. Just because it'll always critical hit, which means they're going to try to get past my +2 defense. So I think my play is just to Terrastalize here, which is of course really scary against Goldango. And I still don't know who their third Pokemon is. All I need to do, though, is get off enough damage with Body Press to kill Meowscarada, though. Okay, they do go for Flower Trick. If I had stayed as a Rock type, I'd probably be dead. But who knows? Maybe I'm still dead here. It's probably still going to do a lot of damage, yeah. It does a good chunk of damage, but I should be able to take them out with the Body Press now. And again, I mean, it's going to depend on who their last Pokemon is here. They might just go straight into Goldango and just go for the Make It Rain. If they go into Goldango, I'm just going to go Recover right away. They also might trick me with Goldango, which would also be pretty awful for me. But we're going to see. I mean, all we can do is hope at this point. Okay, so their last Pokemon is Hydreigon, which means that they're going to go Dark Pulse here. And they're probably going to Terra. I don't think I can live a Dark Pulse, especially if they're Choice Specs. This is rough. Okay. I could Calc it to see if they're Choice Specs. This might be it for me. I'm just going to Recover. I mean, I don't anticipate I'm living a Dark Pulse. I do not live a Dark Pulse at all. The question is whether they're choice specs or not. If this is actually a really bad situation. If they're not choice specs, I lose because they can just go for a fire move. Or if they're not choiced at all, then I lose. The thing is, honestly, I probably just lose anyway, right? Because, well, okay, if they are choiced, I should take a Dark Pulse and pounce them for super effective damage. Although they're gonna Terra here. Yeah, this is just awful all around. I think I'm losing this game. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I don't see a way to win this game. Scizor is amazing though. By the way, what is this? Electric? Interesting. So they're still going to take neutral damage from Pounce. I guess they by being Terra Electric, they resist Bullet Punch. Yeah, that's not going to be good enough. Although actually, here's the funny thing. Remember that my Scizor is calced. Oh God, never mind. Okay, well, there it is. I was going to say, this is the funny thing. My Scizor is calced just enough to outspeed Hydreigon after a Pounce. And then I would be able to Pounce them, probably do a lot of damage, and then on the next turn I'd be faster and maybe knock them out. And then if they go into Goldango, like maybe if I thief them at some point and steal their, I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking out loud, but I don't win this game. Yeah, they flinched me. If they hadn't flinched me there, I think I was still probably losing this battle. If they had not flinched me there, then again, depending on how much damage Pounce does, I could possibly 2-hit KO them. Then they go into Goldango, and I'm really low on health, and I don't think I live a hit from Goldango. So my best bet there would be like, I Pounce their Hydreigon, take it to like maybe below half, and then on the next turn I like thief them, and then if they happen to be choice scarfed, then I steal their scarf, and then they go into Goldango and I go thief on that, and I'm actually probably not faster because they were scarfed. So yeah, that was a bad game. I think where I went wrong, once again, the Hydreigon flinched me, which was a big issue. I think in a lot of cases I did predict correctly, but I think ultimately where I went wrong was in team preview. I think I brought Pokemon that were maybe not ideal there, but I still had fun. I hope I learned a lot. Let's go to the next battle. All right, next game here. My opponent's team is also pretty scary. Basically, anytime I see Dragapult and Meowscarada, I know earlier I said I would not bring Specs Dragapult in the next game, and I think another reason for that is because I'm modest, so I get outsped by other Dragapults, which is pretty terrifying. Again, Garganacl looks solid here, but they do once again have Goldango and even Palafin and Meowscarada, which are all scary, so I actually don't want to bring Garganacl here. This actually looks like a game where Grimmsnarl's pretty decent. I'm going to bring Grimmsnarl here, but I think they're going to expect that, like I said, so they might lead Goldango. I think Goldango's immune to Parting Shot as well, but I still think I want to bring it. And then this might be another Scizor game, even though honestly Scizor has not been fantastic. But let's try it out. This is a video where we're featuring Scizor. And then from there, I got to make the choice on... It's probably going to be Dragapult, I think. I don't know, though. Maybe Chomp. I'm gonna go Chomp here, which is weird because I'm not leading it, but I guess my goal with that is because it has Focus Sash and it can hit pretty hard against a lot of their threats anyway. So maybe I can kind of, you know, fake them out that way. I don't know. We're gonna see. Obviously, I'm not gonna want to switch Garchomp into an attack though, so that's another thing that I need to be wary of. But like I said, I anticipate they're gonna expect me to lead with Grimmsnarl here. They actually lead Dragapult, which is really interesting because they also have Grimmsnarl on their team. And usually if you see like a lead Dragapult, sometimes they also go for screens. So usually Dragapult is, or like physical, I think is what I was going to say. I'm just going to go for Spirit Break here and just see what this does. I mean, Dragapult can't really do very much to Grimmsnarl, so I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Spirit Break, because if they had stayed in, I would have done a ton of damage to them. In this case, I get to kind of do some damage to whatever they switch into, and then it gives me a better idea of which of my screens to go for. So they actually go Garganacl here, which is, I mean, I'm not happy about that, but I think I can just Parting Shot into something else here. It's probably going to be into Scizor. I lower their special attack, which of course does not matter. I kind of wonder if I reflect first or if I just expect them to go for a move right now. We know that I think I just have to parting shot, because if they start setting up with like Iron Defense or something, that is not going to be good for me. But also in general, I kind of just don't like this positioning. I think I go into Garchomp here so I can Dragon Tail. This is not great, because against a Garganacl, you're going to want to be doing as much damage as possible. But, you know, as far as my Sash goes, yeah, they do go Iron Defense. So I actually like that I did this. So I was worried about breaking my Sash. I was worried about breaking my Sash earlier, but it actually doesn't matter that much, because yes, they do have Dragapult, but Dragapult usually has Dragon Darts, which will break my Sash anyway. So here I'm just going to go Dragon Tail and hope they go for another Iron Defense. They're going to Terra here. If they're Terra Fairy, this is going to be absolutely awful for me, but usually you don't see Terra Fairy on Garganacl. Okay, they're flying. That's interesting, because now if I can set up Stealth Rock, they're actually going to take a lot of damage from that. So we'll see how this goes, though. My best bet is if they Iron Defense again. Okay, so they Salt Cure. That's fine. Now I hope I go into, or I hope I Dragon Tail them into something other than Dragapult. If I Dragon Tail them into Dragapult here, then my Garchomp's pretty much dead. But if I Dragapult them into, or Dragon Tail them into some other things like that, actually, Okay, so I did not see Air Balloon again. So I'm actually gonna Earthquake, although they might predict that. See, this is where having my Sash intact would have been excellent. I'm gonna Stealth Rock. This might be the absolute wrong play. So I know I'm faster, so I know they are not choiced, obviously. I just thought that if I Earthquake, they might go back into Garganacl. They're going to Gleam, which is absolutely going to kill me. Oh, wow, it doesn't. Okay. So maybe this is bulkier. Oh, but that'll kill me, right? Oh, it doesn't. Okay, that's actually huge, because now I can get off an Earthquake. Yeah, I got to go for that. Even if they go into Garganacl, that's going to have to be the case for me, which is fine, because I almost take out their Goldango. So now if they switch... Oh, they're actually Sash Goldango. That is interesting. You don't see that every day. And they set up a nasty plot knowing that I'm going to die. But I think that's a really interesting play on their part, because, well, I guess this is fine for them. I don't know. We're still in this game. Absolutely. I'm going to go into Scizor now, because I have to pressure them with Bullet Punch. If I just went into Grimmsnarl, they'd just like kill me with Make It Rain. And then at that point, I'm just like so far behind. So here I just have to Bullet Punch. I can't play around. I can't mess around here. Bullet Punch Goldango, which will kill it. They can't really switch into this either. Like if they switch into Garganacl, they're going to take Stealth Rock damage and then take Bullet Punch damage, which is not something they're going to enjoy taking. Another thing I just realized though is I don't know if I'm even going to be terastallizing in this game. Okay, so I take them out, and we're just going to have to see what they switch into. If they switch into Pull, I'll probably just Terastallize, because there's a chance they have Fire Blast. Usually Dragapult, though, runs like max attack, max speed, and like U-turn, Dragon Darts, Phantom Force, and maybe Terra Blast or something. So they go into Garganacl here. I know they have Iron Defense. They're going to take damage from rocks. Salt Cure is also a threat. I mean, there's not really too much else I can do. I mean... I think I Swords Dance, and if they Iron Defense, then, I mean, it is what it is. I kind of just hope they Salt Cure, though. Although Salt Cure is also bad for me, because it's going to do more damage to me, because I'm a Steel type. They do Salt Cure, so that means there's a chance Bullet Punch will kill them, although, to be quite honest, it probably won't. Maybe if they are, like, max HP, max special attack, like mine, then maybe I kill them with a plus 2 Bullet Punch, but I actually just doubt it. Yeah, this is going to do a ton of damage to me. I mean, there's no reason to not Bullet Punch here. Like Thief, I haven't eaten my Citrus Berry yet, so Thief is not going to steal anything. Although if I can get to a point where I eat my Citrus Berry, oh, that does so much, but they're going to recover. Oh, they don't. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, what I was going to say is, I mean, they're going to get Leftovers recovery. I think I killed them with Bullet Punch, though. But then Dragapult's going to be terrifying. Actually, we might win this game, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. Is this going to take me to Citrus? It is not. Okay. There it is. Okay, yeah, it does. So now if I Thief, I'll steal their leftovers. Okay, so this is gonna do what, like 60 base damage? Like, I don't know, is it 90 base damage? Whereas this is gonna also do 90 base damage. So I think they do the same. So I'm gonna Thief here. This might cost me the game if I don't kill them. Okay, this is huge because now I steal their leftovers. Well, that's not that big of a deal because it's like Dragapult's gonna come in and like then what, right? But once again, they have not ferried yet, or they have not terra'd yet, right? No, duh, they did. Of course they did. All right, so I get a little recovery, then I'm gonna take some damage with the Salt Cure. I think I just Bullet Punch here. I don't think it matters if I Terra, right? Because I think Salt Cure will kill me. I think if I Terra Water, yeah, okay, I'm just gonna Bullet Punch here. This should do a lot of damage. Oh, they have Sucker Punch, no way. Oh, but I live, wow. Oh my goodness, wow. Oh, yes, that was awesome. Okay, well, it doesn't matter what happens the rest of this video. Scizor had an amazing game there. Oh, I love Scizor so much. Yeah, I love that. That was awesome. Wow, so we won that game. That was a crazy one. It was, admittedly, it was looking pretty good for me though. Like, I feel like I was in a good spot at that point. If Scizor went down and it was Grimmsnarl versus Dragapult, I could have just led with like Reflect and then just spam Spirit Break, and since they already Terra'd, they would take super effective damage from Spirit Break. So I felt like I was in a good position there, and that was a really fun one. All right, so let's go ahead and do one more, and we're 1-1 in this video. Let's see if we can round it out. All right, game number 3, and my opponent's team is very interesting. So they look like a weather team, definitely. I mean, obviously you see Pelipper, you see Floatzel, and even Kilowattrel probably has like Thunder, but then they have Torkoal, which is, you know, a Sun Setter. And they have Leafeon, who I believe has Chlorophyll. So really interesting stuff here. Now, I know that the combination of Rain with Floatzel, like Terra Water Floatzel with Wave Crash, does a ton of damage. So that's something I'm going to want to be aware of. And I mean, I don't know if I can really beat that. Like, I know for a fact that that thing can just nuke stuff. So I think I might have to like lead Garg and then like, I don't know, start setting up curses or something. Or I need to use my Garchomp intelligently and not let the Sash break. I anticipate they're going to lead with Pelipper, which honestly, I think actually Dragapult's amazing here. Dragapult just blasts through their team. Donphan has Sturdy, so that's a problem, but and I'm anticipating the Pelipper might have like Focus Sash, but I think I like this. And then I think I need Garchomp with the Focus Sash. Oh no. And then, oh no, and then what do I need? What do I need? What do I need? I don't think Garganacl's good here, but I had to make a choice there. I think Garganacl's actually kind of bad here because it's weak to so many of their Pokemon. Oh no. I didn't have time to think though, but I can Terra Garganacl. I don't really need to Terra Dragapult, and I don't think I would ever want to Terra Garchomp because it's Terra Fire. So they lead with Donphan, interestingly, which is honestly the worst Pokemon they could have led with here, to be quite honest, just because it's going to have Sturdy. I don't know if they kill me with Earthquake, though. I think I just have to just blast through them. I just got to do damage to them. So I'm just going to Shadow Ball, kind of like I would have done anyway. If they happen to not have Sturdy, this is great. Or if they happen to not kill me with Earthquake, oh, they just get up rocks. Okay, that's honestly, that's actually really bad. That's actually really, really bad. What do I do now? Just got to go Shadow Ball. They do have Ice Shard. Honestly, they're just setting up for that win with Floatzel. Let's see. How can I navigate this to not just get destroyed by Floatzel now? I'm not sure there's a way. Yeah, if they go Pelipper here, it's kind of well, assuming they have Floatzel in the back. They do go Pelipper. I might kill it with Shadow Ball. Okay, so if I kill Pelipper with Shadow Ball, like if it does not have Focus Sash, I expect it to have Focus Sash though, but if it doesn't, I might be able to win with Wave Crash Recoil. but we'll see. I don't know. This is going to be really bad. Wow, they take that. Okay. They're probably going to kill me here. Okay. So now what I think I'm going to do, this might not be enough. Go into Garganacl, Terra, and... oh, wait. I can't... okay. Probably dead here. Because if I Terra... like, here's the funny thing. I want to Terra so I'm not weak to water. And then I also want to go for Curse. Because I need to get... at least... I need to boost my defense to take on that Floatzel. Well, it'd be so funny if they don't even have Floatzel. But they're going to, I'm sure. I'm going to Curse here. Without tearing. Yeah, I'm dead here. Or probably dead. Yeah. I was just kind of hoping that they would miss. I don't think assuming Floatzel's in the back, I don't think there was any way I win. I mean, again, if they didn't bring Floatzel, then I made a huge mistake here. But okay, so let's assess this game. I lost. I mean, I'm going to go for... they have Ice Beam, right? So I have to Terra here, which is actually really funny. Okay, so my way to win this game is Terra Fire against the water type team. I pretty much lost this game, but again, if there's by some miracle they don't have Floatzel in the back for some weird reason, then I can possibly win this game. So I need Garchomp to live. I'm sure they're going to go Ice Beam here, so I'm just going to Terra Fire. If they don't Ice Beam, whatever, you know, the game was pretty much... oh, yeah, they just play around that by going Hydro Pump. They hit all their Hydro Pumps, which is great for them, but I know it probably looks really stupid. Like, from their perspective, it probably looks really stupid for me to Terra Fire, right? Oh, they're probably Specs, actually. Yeah, but I guess I should have considered that they're Specs, right? That was just bad all around. So let's talk about that game. I mean, in general, I should have been smarter. Like, from the beginning, I acknowledged the Floatzel, right? I acknowledged the combo of Choice Banded Floatzel in the rain. It's going to do a ton of damage with Pelipper. And so I knew that was the threat. It was just... I shouldn't have expected them to lead with Pelipper, which is what I expected there. So that was a mistake on my end. I should have... you know, I should have assessed Donphin as the threat that it was for setting up rocks and breaking my Sash, because I think my opponent correctly recognized that Garchomp, or I don't know, maybe in general they just recognized that if I have any Pokemon with a Focus Sash, then that's not good for them because I can live a hit from Floatzel and then kill it. So my opponent got up their rocks, and I should have kind of assessed it from that angle and thought to myself, like, okay, they're going to do that, and if my Sash gets broken, that's awful, because if you look at their team, it's very clear Donphin has rocks and probably Rapid Spin at that. So yeah, I just that one I played poorly from the team preview, and it's kind of like a trend, I think. You know, like that's kind of where I'm losing these games is in the team preview. I need to get a lot better, but I'm still having fun, right? You know, maybe I'm not the best at this game, but you know, I like making these videos. I'm enjoying playing these games, doing these battles, and talking through them. I would hope and like to believe that I'm at least decent at like explaining my thought process and everything, and kind of assessing the situations and everything like that. And I'm also trying new things, so you know, that's something else that I'm kind of proud of, I guess you could say. But this was a fun one, and that was an awkward battle. You know, again, I messed up pretty significantly there, and I don't know, I tried to play to my outs, but I think I misassessed what my outs were in that case. So let's talk about the team one last time here. I love Scizor. I am not sure this is the way to go, to be quite honest. I mean, I want to use this as much as I can, though, because it's an amazing shiny Scizor. Like, of course I'm going to want to use it, right? But basically, I think the way to go with Scizor, if you want to run Swords Dance, there's probably another way. Like I said, I mean, Terra Water makes sense in the face of Fire-type Pokemon, but I think you could also, like, because this set was also used to, like, kind of try to play around, like, Skeledirge and possibly Volcarona and stuff like that, which makes a lot of sense. But if you're not facing those Pokemon, to be quite honest, the set is not amazing. One Scizor set that I ran into actually a couple times when I was testing with this team was Choice Banded with Steel Terra, or I don't even know if it was Choice Band, but either way, it was Steel Terra with Bullet Punch. So basically, you Steel Terra, and then your Bullet Punches just do a lot more damage that way. So that's something else I would want to try out. Something else I thought of was like probably either max my HP or like put as much HP as possible, and then maybe a couple speed points to try to outspeed certain things. I don't know. And then of course max attack, and then just run like 4 attacks, like Bullet Punch, Close Combat, Pounce, and Thief, or something like that. Or maybe not even Pounce, but just find the right moves. Like I think U-turn, there were a couple games where I really felt like I needed U-turn. So that could be another good option, because aside from fire types, Scizor has an amazing typing. Like I was trying to anticipate, like, or thinking about like, okay, against Meowscarada, for example, I could probably threaten that pretty significantly. So yeah, I think there's a lot to be explored with Scizor, but this probably, as fun as this set was and as kind of proud as I was to make this set, this is probably not where it's at. Particularly this EV spread with Terra Water, but we'll see. This Garchomp set's great. I'll probably use it again at some point. Like I said, in my next team that I build, in my next video, I'm going to try to use different Pokemon that I don't typically use. Maybe not all 6 of them will be different, but at least I'll try not to use any of these Pokemon in my next team. I'll try to just try things that you haven't seen me use that often. But anyways, let me know what you thought of this team in the comments. Another Pokemon I'd like to change is probably Garganacl. And as always, you know, I think opposing Meowscaradas are really scary, so I need to always account for that. But anyways, yeah, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of the team. Let me know if there are any Pokemon you'd like to see me try, or if you have ideas for teams, let me know, and I can kind of, you know, try to build something. I like building teams. It's a lot of fun. And honestly, I got destroyed by that rain team. They didn't even need to send Floatzel out. Maybe I'll try that rain team, because I actually saw a post about it on the Smogon forums. So maybe I'll build a team with like Floatzel and Pelipper and just see how that goes. We'll see. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, please subscribe. It really helps me out if you do. And I'll talk to you next time.